Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible to all of you? So we have, first of all, very well, welcome to the session of BEEE. Let me just give you the highlight of the previous session. In the previous session, I think we have completed the power in pure capacitive circuit, right? Then we have seen analysis of RL circuit. This is RL series circuit. Then after we have discussed about the impedance triangle, power triangle, voltage triangle. Also in power triangle, we have seen the three different types of powers, right? So in case of, if we talk about power in pure capacitive circuit, then if only capacitor is connected, the total power output will be zero. Okay, so net power absorbed is zero in this case. Okay, so you will not get any power output across the load. If we talk about the analysis of RL circuit, in which we have certain important points are there, like the phase angle in between voltage and current is phi. The range of the phi is in between 0 to 90 degree and depends on the value of resistor and inductor connected into the circuit. If inductor is more, the phi is near to 90, and if resistance is more, then phi is near to 0. Also, we have seen that depending on the value of resistance, your output power is going to be vary. If resistance is more, you will get more output power, and if resistance is less as compared to inductor, the negative portion in case of power is more, and that's why the average output is going to be reduced. Then after we have seen this impedance, power and voltage triangle, and anyone know about that different types of power? Which three powers are there? So we have these three powers: apparent, reactive and active. Okay. The unit of apparent power is volt into ampere. Unit of active power is watt, and unit of reactive power is volt ampere reactive. That is VAR. VAR. Okay, so up to this we have completed. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about power factor and its significance. Then we will discuss analysis of RC series circuit, RLC series circuit, and if time will permit, then we will go for numericals. So let us start with today's topic. About power factor, I told you in the previous session also that we can have these three definitions. Okay, one definition from power triangle, another one is from impedance triangle, right? And from voltage triangle, we come to know that cos phi will give me the power factor. So we have three different definitions for the power factor that you can see. A very simple definition is, it is nothing but the cosine of angle between voltage and current, or you can write ratio of resistance to impedance, or it is the ratio of true power to the apparent power. Okay. Also, I told you that if only resistance is there in the circuit, there is no phase shift in between voltage and current. So this angle is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So in pure resistive case, the power factor is 1. In case of inductor and capacitor, Individually we are talking, in case of pure inductor and pure capacitance, the angle is 90 degree. The angle is 90 degree. So if you put over here cos 90 is equal to 0, that means in pure inductor and pure capacitive circuit, the power factor is 0. Okay, and if you do the combination, again your power factor is going to be vary in between the range of 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Okay, 1 is the maximum value of power factor, 0 is the minimum value of power factor. So what is the meaning if I say cos phi equal to 1 and cos phi is equal to 0? Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Suppose you are this is our circuit. I'm going to give the out input, and on the another end we have one load is connected. Okay, it should be anything. Right now it is just I'm showing the resistance, but you can consider it impedance also, combination of R and L. Just try to understand that what is power factor, what is the significance of power factor. If you are giving 100% input, if you are giving 100% input, and if you are your output is also 100%. Okay, if your output is also 100%, that means from receiving end to sending end, from sending end to receiving end, sorry, this is my sending end. So from sending end to receiving end, when your output is transferred, there is no losses takes place. That is what the meaning means. Whatever input you are giving, the same output you are getting at the output side. And if condition is like that, I can say my power factor is 1. Now if you remember two equation for power, one is Vi and second one is Vi cos phi. Vi cos phi, this is my apparent power, and Vi cos phi is the active power. So apparent power means what? Power which is available to transfer. But active power means what? Power which I'm getting across the load out of the total available power. If you put cos phi equal to 1, that means what? You will get apparent power. That means whatever power which is available to transfer, that whole power you are getting across the load, right? So this is the meaning of power factor. Now suppose if I'm taking power factor is 0, okay, what is the meaning? For 100% of input, I'm getting 0 output. Means nothing you are getting across the output. That means my power factor is 0. And the same thing will happen in case of inductor and capacitor. The net power output absorb is what? 0, right? Now suppose the power factor is 0.9. Cos phi is equal to 0.9, slightly less than 1. So what is the meaning? I'm giving 100% input and I'm getting 90% of output. Okay, I'm getting 90% of output. That means 10% is the loss in between sending to receiving end. So according to you, which value is better? Anyone can tell me now? I hope all of you understood the significance of power factor. Why you are not replying, anyone? Which value of power factor is better? course it is 1, but 1 is ideal value. I told you that whenever current is passing from one place to another place, it will, due to the presence of resistance, some losses are there due to conducting wire, right? But we are going to keep it near to 1. We'll try to keep power factor near to 1. So either you can take 0.95, means only 5% is losses. You are getting 95% output across the load. Okay. 0.98 means 98% output, but it's not possible to uh, maintain it at unity. Okay, so I hope all of you understood the power factor and significance of the power factor. Next is RC series circuit. What we are doing, just I'm replacing inductor from the previous topic with capacitor, and we'll try to analyze what will happen if one capacitor is connected in series with the resistor. So again, this is my RMS value of the voltage. When we are going to apply this voltage into the circuit, we'll have the current capital I, which is also the RMS value. Okay. Now, as again it is series circuit, so the same current is passing through the resistance as well as capacitance. Okay, and that's why one voltage drop will take place across resistance and another one is across the capacitor, because we know capacitor is having its own capacitive reactance. Okay, so voltage produced across voltage drop VR is given by I into R, which is across resistance, and VC is equal to I into XC. If you compare it with the theory of RL series circuit, the only difference is here we have XL in that case. Here we have XL in RL series circuit. Okay. So if you see over here again, the voltage and current relationship for resistive circuit for the resistance is same, that VR is in phase with current, means voltage and current both are in phase. There is no phase shift in case of resistance. But in pure capacitive circuit, we have seen that current is leading by 90 degree with respect to voltage. Current is leading by 90 degree with respect to voltage. In other words, I can say voltage is lagging by 90 degree with respect to current, and that's why here the relationship is going to be changed. You can see my current is leading with respect to this voltage, or voltage is lagging. So VR is equal to I into R, VC is equal to I into XC. Now you know the next step. We have to draw one voltage triangle by taking current as a reference. Okay. So here you can see I'm taking current as a reference. Current as a reference. Okay. So VR is in phase because it is a voltage drop across resistance, which is in phase with current, and VC is at an angle 90 degree, which is lagging with respect to current, and we know it is on the negative side, and that's why the minus sign is shown over here. Okay. The resultant is voltage V, and this is my angle phi, right? And that's why I told you in the last session also, if you understood RL series circuit completely, you will get the whole idea about RC series circuit very, very easily. Taking current as a reference phasor, the phasor diagram for the given circuit we can draw like this. So voltage drop VR is equal to IR is in phase with current and is represented by magnitude and direction by phasor OA. So this phasor we are talking about. Similarly, voltage drop VC lags behind current by 90 degree. Okay, so this is represented by phasor AB, and applied voltage is the phasor sum of these two drops, and that is our V. So it is represented by V square is equal to VR square plus minus of VC square. Okay, or you can give the square root over here. So V is equal to square root of VR square plus minus of VC whole square. Okay, so it is what? IR whole square plus minus IXC whole square. So I'm getting this equation. Compare it with inductive RL series circuit. So only change is capacitive reactance. Okay, so current equation I'm getting is I is equal to V upon square root R square plus X square. What is R square root of R square plus X square? It is the quantity which offer opposition to current flow, and again this is known as impedance. It is called as impedance. Okay, impedance in case of RL series circuit is given by square root R square plus XL square, square root of R square plus XL square. This is for RL series circuit. Square root of R square plus X square is for RC series circuit. So phase angle, it's very clear. Again, we do not have 0 or 90, but due to presence of capacitance and due to presence of resistance, the phase angle is going to be in between 0 to 90 degree, in between 0 to 90 degree. If your capacitive part is more, if your capacitive part is more, you will get the angle phi near to 90. And if resistive part is more, your circuit is highly resistive, you will get 0. Near to 0. Phi is equal to near to 0. But if you just look at this equation carefully, okay, specifically in current equation, here you can find positive sign. And if you just compare this equation with RL series circuit, here we have negative sign. That means current is lagging by angle phi due to presence of inductance. But now in RC series circuit, we know the nature of capacitor. Okay, in presence of capacitance makes the current leading, right? And that's why I'm getting plus sign over here, right? So current is leading by an angle phi with respect to voltage, right? Again, we have the equation to find the phi, but the range is in between 0 to 90 degree. In between 0 to 90 degree. If you are taking 0, then it is pure resistive circuit. If you are taking 90, then it is pure capacitive circuit. And it is pure capacitive circuit. But if you are taking in between these two, that means it's a combination of these two. How we can find tan phi? So for that, you have to use this voltage triangle. Tan phi is equal to minus Vc upon VR. Minus Vc upon VR. So Vc is I into Xc. VR is I into R, I cancel. So I'm getting minus of XC upon R. So if you take tan inverse minus XC upon R, you will get the angle phi. And since current is taken as reference phasor, the negative phase angle implies that voltage lags behind the current. If you are taking voltage as a reference and your current is leading over here, right, then you will not get the negative sign over here. And I told you, you can take any quantity as a reference. There is no foundation. Either you can take current or you can take voltage as a reference. It is totally up to you. No one can wrong your answer based on the reference quantity. Before going to start power in RC circuit, first of all, let me know if you have any doubt up to this. No doubt. So let us start with power in RC series circuit. So power for RC circuit, uh, here I'm using one short method. You can also use a method which we have used in the RL series circuit, and you can apply this method over there also. The equation for voltage and current are given like this. In case of RC series circuit, V is equal to Vm sin omega t and I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. Okay. So average power P is equal to what? Average of Vi. Average of Vi. And we know that I'm getting average of Vi is what? Vi cos phi, because if you just let me just know, only difference is here it is plus sign. Okay, Vm sin omega t into Im sin omega t plus phi. So you have to multiply and divide it by 2. So 1 by 2 Vm Im, 2 sin omega t into sin omega t plus phi. Okay, so you will get, I told you the equation that cos alpha plus beta and cos alpha minus beta. So first is cos alpha minus beta. Okay, cos alpha minus beta. So omega t minus omega t minus phi. So I'm getting cos of minus phi. But as cos is even function, so I'm getting cos phi only. Okay, minus cos of 2 omega t plus phi. Cos of 2 omega t plus phi. So this is what the equation for RC circuit for instantaneous power. Okay. Now if you take average of this, as there is no frequency term involved over here, you will get this is constant, but average over one cycle for the second term is again 0, and that's why the final output will remain same, that is Vi cos phi. Okay, so same thing you can do in RL circuit and RC circuit, and we have the same power output in both, that is Vi cos phi. Vi cos phi. And alternatively, I can use this method. Power in R plus power in C will give you total power. Now, already we have proved that power in pure C is 0 and power in resistive circuit is I square R. Fine. So I square R I can write IR into IR as it is, and I means what? V by Z. Okay. And that's why now just manipulate this term. I have V into I multiplied by R by Z, and we know the definition of cos phi, power factor. Okay, resistance upon impedance is nothing but cos phi. So I am getting Vi cos phi directly, right? So this is the another method to obtain the power, and it is very simple. So in case of RL series circuit, in case of RC series circuit, both the case I'm getting, in both the case I'm getting the same power output, and this is our active power or real power which you are getting across load. What happens if I connect all three together? Means resistance, inductor and capacitor. If you connect all three terminals, all three equipments together, elements together, okay, then what is the relation in between voltage and current? Means phase angle relation, what should be the power output, right? So that is what now we have to see, and this is the most important case for circuit analysis. Here figure shows R, L and C connected in series across supply voltage V. So you can see the RMS value of voltage is connected, and due to this the RMS value of current capital I is flowing, and as again circuit is series connected, so the same current is passing through all three elements, and that is capital I. And when current is passing through these element, the voltage drop produced across resistance is VR, and that is across inductor is VL, and that is across capacitor is VC. VR, VL and VC, right? So voltage across R is given by VR equal to I into R. Voltage across L is given by VL equal to I into XL. And voltage across C is given by VC equal to I into X. And all of you know the relation in between voltage and current phase shift. Voltage and current's phase shift. Okay. VR is in phase with I in case of resistor. As XL is mentioned, so it is, we are talking about inductive voltage, and then inductive voltage VL leads. Okay, don't confuse. Again, current is lagging. Okay, VL leads means you can draw like this. This is current. If I am taking reference as a current, then here it is VL. So VL is leading, that means current is lagging by 90° in case of inductor, and current is leading by 90° in case of capacitor, or voltage is lagging in case with respect to current by 90° in case of capacitor. So what we have to do now? Next we have to draw the phasor diagram based on these relations. So take the current as a reference. Okay, so let us take current as a reference. Just a minute. I'm taking current as reference. So first of all, draw the voltage across resistor VR. So that is in phase. So VR is in phase with the current. If we talk VL, VL is leading with respect to current because current is lagging. So I have to draw VL on leading direction. So this is VL. And VC is lagging with respect to current because current is leading in case of capacitor. Okay, and that's why I have to draw VC over here. Now, how can we find the resultant? But if you see over here, VL and VC both are in opposite direction. That means you can do the subtraction of these two because both are 180-degree out of phase. Okay, so depending on the magnitude of VC, you will get your output. Suppose what I'm doing, let me draw VC small. This is the VC. Okay, so I have to find the resultant. That means I have to just remove this much of portion which is equal to VC from the VL. Okay, and this is my output, which is VL minus VC, and this will be the resultant V. This is the resultant V. If VL and VC both are same in magnitude, if VL and VC both are same in magnitude, that means both are cancel out each other. My circuit is reduced to only resistive circuit. These all cases we will see later on. But first of all, let me know, is there any doubt in this phasor diagram now? No. Okay, fine. So you can see this diagram again. OA represents VR, that is this one. AB represents VL, the vertical line, this AB, and AC represents VC. So this downward line, this is VC, and it may be seen that VL is in phase opposition to the VC. So we can clearly see over here. So it follows that circuit can either be effectively inductive or capacitive, and that depends on the value of VL and VC. If VC is more, then circuit is effectively capacitive circuit. If VL is more, then it is effectively inductive. Right now, this is the phasor diagram for inductive circuit. Okay, if VL, for the case we are considering, VL is greater than VC, and so that net voltage drop across LC combination is VL minus VC. Okay, and that is represented by this AD line. That voltage drop will be represented by this AD line, and this is what? VL minus VC. So if you take this magnitude AC, that AC is removed from this AC is removed from the this VL, and so that I'm getting VL minus VC. Okay. If VC is greater than VL, then I will get VC minus VL. Okay. Later on, I will discuss all three cases. So for this particular case, if you want to find the voltage V, resultant voltage V, okay, then again you have to apply the Pythagoras theorem. So I'm getting V square, V is equal to square root of VR square plus VL minus VC whole square. VR means I into R, VL means I into XL, and VC means I into XC. Take I common. So I'm getting I square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. What is this? This is impedance in case of RLC series circuit, because square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square offers opposition to the current and is called impedance for RLC series circuit. Okay, so you have to remember all these impedance equations. What is the equation in case of RL series circuit? What is the equation in terms of RC series circuit in case of RLC series circuit, right? So based on the variation of the reactance, your power factor output is also changed, angle is also going to be changed. Okay, so you can see the circuit power factor is now given by again R upon Z. So Z is changed, it is R square plus XL minus XC whole square, also tan phi. From this circuit you can write VL minus VC upon VR. So ultimately, if you put VL equal to I into XL, VC is equal to I into XC, and here I into R, you will get this equation. I, because I gets cancel out, and the finally tan phi is XL minus XC upon R. XL minus XC upon R. Okay, now three case we are going to discuss in case of RLC series circuit, because I told you circuit response is going to be changed based on the value of L and C. So already now we know the impedance for RLC series circuit, and that is given by this equation. Z is equal to square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. What happened based on the different value of reactance? So first of all, case number one is when XL is positive, sorry, XL is more than the XC, XL is greater than the XC or more than the XC. In second case, we are going to see XC is greater than XL, and the third case, both are equal. Both are equal. Okay. So in first case, you can see when XL minus XC is positive. So XL minus XC is positive means I can draw like this on positive side. Okay. R, because you can just take current as a reference over here, but right now this is the impedance triangle. Okay, and that's why you can see all the quantities represented in terms of resistance, reactance, and impedance only. So R XL minus XC, as it is positive, it is drawn like this, and the phasor sum of these two will give me the impedance. So you can find Z is equal to square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square, just like this. So when XL minus XC is positive, phase angle phi is positive and the circuit will be inductive. Circuit will be inductive because effective XL is higher. In other words, in such case, the circuit current, obviously the inductive part is more. That means current is going to be lag behind the applied voltage. If I take XC is more, means capacitive reactance or part of capacitive is higher than the inductor. So now you can understand that phase angle phi is negative, right? Then current is leading with respect to voltage if XC is more, and XL minus XC, because this part is more, so negative portion is more, so overall XL minus XC is negative, and that's why I have to draw like this. Okay, so this is my XC minus XL, R and Z. So phase angle phi is negative, current is leading with respect to the applied voltage. And in the third case, when both are same, okay, when XL and XC both are same, what happens? If these two are same, then yes, if this XC and XL both are same, then what happen? If these two are same, then what happen? Both will cancel out their effect. That means now in my circuit, XL and XC both will cancel out. So only resistance is there. And due to this, what happened? The circuit reduced to resistive, purely resistive circuit. Okay. In other words, the circuit current I is in phase with the voltage and the angle phi is 0. Okay, and this type of circuit is having unity power factor. This type of circuit is having unity power factor. One more thing, this condition XL equal to XL, this condition is known as condition of resonance, and that resonance in series RLC circuit and resonance in parallel RLC circuit, that topic we will discuss later on, right? That is also part of your syllabus, but that we will discuss later on. So first of all, tell me, is there any doubt in all these three cases? No. Okay, fine. Then let us start with the numericals based on the topics we have discussed so far. Okay. So first of all, in numerical number 1, you can see a coil is having the resistance of 7 ohm and an inductance of 31.8 millihenry is connected to 230 volt 50 hertz supply, and we have to calculate circuit current, phase angle, power factor, power consumed, and voltage drop across resistor and inductor. So in this type of numerical, let me tell you this type of numericals are very important actually in this subject. So first of all, you have to identify the case, whether it is pure R, pure L, pure C, RL series, RC series, RLC series. Okay, which case is given? One resistor is there, 7 ohm, and one inductance is there, right? That means R and L both are given, so it is RL circuit. Supply voltage 230 volt 50 hertz is given. So anyone can tell me which voltage is mentioned? 230 volt means it's a RMS value. Okay, if nothing is specified, you have to consider 230 volt is what is the RMS value, right? Because in theory we have considered the applied voltage in terms of RMS value. If you see the applied voltage, it is in terms of RMS value. So if nothing is specified, you have to consider the given voltage is RMS value. So how we can find the circuit current? For circuit current, we have equation V is equal to I into Z. Z is given. Z is given. No. Okay. Z means what? In case of RL series circuit, Z means what? R square plus XL square. R square plus XL square. R is given, but XL is given? No. Instead of XL, what is given? L. Is there any relation in between L and XL? Yes, we know XL is equal to 2 pi FL, right? So, first of all, we have to find the XL, right? Once you will get XL, you will get the impedance. So, XL equation is what? 2 pi FL. 2 pi FL. Put down the value of frequency and inductor and tell me your answer. Nine 9.9852. Okay, so it is a round figure of 10 ohm. Then once you will get the XL, then impedance Z, which is given by square root of R square plus XL square. Yes, 12.2 ohm is the impedance. Now voltage is already given 230 and impedance you have 12.2. So you will get your first answer, that is current, circuit current. Yes, it is 18.85 ampere. So let me just verify the answer. Yes, it is 18.85 MP. Now, next is phase angle, power factor. If you just remember the voltage triangle for RL series circuit, voltage triangle for RL series circuit, right? Then here you come to know for phase angle tan phi is equal to VL upon VR. Means if you put VL is equal to I into XL and VR is equal to I into R, you will get XL by R. So tan phi is equal to XL by R and cos phi is equal to R by Z. Both the values are available. So phi, phase angle phi, I am getting tan inverse XL upon R cos phi. If you get phi, then directly just take the cosine of that angle, you will get your cos phi. Okay, this is nothing but power factor. Third one. So what is the answer of second and third? Phi is 55. Phi is 55. Yes, it is 55 degree. And take cosine of 55. So you will get 0.573. 0.573. Yes. Power consumed. Power consumed means output power you are getting. Okay, and that is our active power. Active power is given by V into I into cos V into I into cos phi. V is 230, I is 18.85, and cos phi is 0.57. Okay, so put down the value, so you will get power consumed. And voltage drop across resistor is I into R and across inductor is I into XL. So all things are very, very simple. Right, so this is what the numerical. I think it's very easy. All of you gave just you remember the equation and you will get the answer. See, this is you have to uh, keep in mind that whenever you are writing the angle and power factor, not just write the answer 55 degree and 0.573, but you have to mention the response, whether it is leading or lagging. So definitely the RL series circuit is there. That means you have to specify that it is lagging. Okay. So let me just give you the summary of today's session. We'll keep up to this. So in today's session, we have discussed about power factor and its significance. Also, we have discussed these two different cases, analysis of RC series circuit and analysis of RLC series circuit. Okay. Here also we have three different cases in RLC series circuit. First is XL greater than XC, then XC greater than XL, and then both are same. Okay, and then after we have solved one numerical based on these topics, right? The next session will solve more numericals regarding this type of topic, and then we will start the new topic that is based on the parallel circuit. That is based on parallel circuit. Now, if you have any doubt regarding today's session, you can ask your query. Do not leave the session. I will just give you the link for attendance. So please don't leave the session without giving your response. You can find the Google form link into the chat box. Please enter your response. Those who have submitted the response, they can leave. Okay, everyone, thank you for attending this session. I'm going to end the meeting now.